welcome to Overwhelm is Optional, challenging the idea that it's okay to be stuck in overwhelm. I'm your host, Heidi Marke, and I'm a body mindfulness teacher and coach, and I help people get out of their heads into their body to find the energy, clarity and ease they long for. I hope you enjoy this. If you do, please subscribe, leave a lovely review and tell everyone you know. Thank you and enjoy. Welcome to Social Media Overwhelm Part 2. So in this episode, I'm going to be giving you body mindfulness techniques and other tips to help you gain back your attention from social media. So if you haven't checked out Part 1, you might want to do that first, just because it helps you reframe how you think about social media from something annoying or generally bad to an opportunity and a neutral space that you have power to control and change for the better. So if you want to check out Part 1, go and do that first, but you don't have to. You might want to just get straight on with it. So in this episode, I'm going to be helping you break that addiction to your phone, to that constant checking, whether it's your phone, your iPad, however you check. So first of all, I want you to just consider how much time you are devoting to mindless use of social media. So there's a difference between intentional use. So for example, there's the times when I go into social media to share my podcast episode, to schedule posts that will be helpful and that build my business and draw the people who I want to work with, who I feel called to serve, to draw them to me, or to just genuinely help them in the moment, even if they don't want to work with me on a more one-to-one basis. So that's intentional, and I deliberately schedule a lot of posts so that I'm not thinking about that all the time, because it's really unhealthy for me to be in work mode all the time, and it's very easy for me to get into work mode all the time, as I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. So if you're in any way using social media for business and you're finding that you're starting to live your life through the camera of, will this be good for my business if I share it, then just have a think about that for a moment. So I've really struggled with this. First of all, I'm a very private person and I don't like to share lots of stuff about my life in order to promote myself online. But on the other hand, trying to be an invisible online entrepreneur isn't great. It doesn't work, does it? So for me, really exploring that balance between sharing stuff that is personal so that you can get to know me and know my values and see whether I resonate with you, and also sharing personal stuff to my friends, with my family, my cousins, that's important. But if I'm finding that it's encroaching too much on my life, so this is I'm talking about the kind of pre going online. I'm talking about photos and thoughts that so it's the headspace, it's the pre getting sucked into the mindless scroll. So for example, we met my son and his girlfriend and went canoeing, and canoeing's a great thing, so I could share that or not. But if while I'm canoeing, instead of being fully present, I'm thinking about photo opportunities and how I could write a blog, or I'm thinking of a podcast, I don't like that. I feel that then my work, and particularly social media, is encroaching on my life in a way that's unhelpful. And that's quite difficult, isn't it? Because if you're an ideas person and you are good at sharing stuff online which helps promote and grow your business, and promoting and growing a business is a good thing, because then we get to do the work we feel called to do and we reach the people that we can help. So it's not a bad thing. But if it's taking over too much of your life, just consider that for a moment. And I think for me, one of the best ways of thinking about this is not just in time taken, but in the quality of my everyday experience. So obviously as a body mindfulness teacher, I'm thinking in terms of mindfulness. So body mindfulness is mindfulness rooted in the body, which means that in general, the more of my day is spent feeling connected and aligned. So feeling my feet on the ground, feeling my body, rather than being stuck in my head and really overwhelmed or just really working in my head all the time, then that's a good thing. Now, if I'm doing head work, so, you know, writing, particularly writing, that's quite difficult to stay in my body, and that's my weakness is you know, I love writing and I love studying and I love reading, but that can disconnect me from my body, and that can lead to health issues for me, and also overusing my mind, and then I can end up feeling very cloggy in my mind. And that's when they're my tipping points, because I recognize that I in the past have got stuck in overwhelm, and then that has led to burnout and exhaustion. So they're my warning signs. So this practice of body mindfulness is really helpful for keeping me rooted in my body. So if I find that I'm being pulled out of that at any point, I tend to notice now, because I have this deep practice. So let's think about, I'm canoeing down the river, I'm having fun, we're laughing, and then I'm thinking, oh, this would make a really good post, you know. So it's like, can I get a photo? It's different if I just take a quick photo and then put my phone away and forget about it. But if I get stuck in my head and I'm now not really canoeing down the river, enjoying my precious, precious time with my partner, my dogs, my son and his girlfriend, if I'm missing that because I'm stuck in my head thinking about how this would look on social media and how this might be helpful, then that's rubbish, because I'm missing my life. Can you see? So it's like, I think when I start seeing my life through the camera lens for social media and business promotion, or even just social media personal sharing, then that's the tipping point for me. And that's when I've noticed that I get quite irritated with that. So for me, I've really struggled with social media because it demands, you know, I don't like this whole, not only have you got Instagram and Facebook posts, but now you've got stories. So it's like this constant sharing. And I've actually noticed that I have this reaction to people, but even people that I admire and follow, you know, choose to follow, who have really helped me personally. If they share too much stuff online, then I feel this depletion, this exhaustion, like, for God's sake, will you stop? Will you just stop being present online all the time? I have this real rebellious physical reaction to it. It's like, for God's sake, get offline. But actually, they're probably not online, because they're probably, you can now schedule stories, which is quite amusing. So what are we doing? Why are we all scheduling stuff so it looks like we're not scheduling? So you have to kind of question that. But people do it because it works and they reach more people. So I get why they do it, but I'm still rebelling. You know, I don't want to be posting stories and this and that. It's just this endless, it feels like it could endlessly suck my life out of my life and just artificially place it online, so that I'm no longer living, I'm living online. And I guess that's the thing, isn't it? That's the overwhelm of social media, is when we're living in our heads, either as a view to how we present ourselves online, or when we're actually scrolling, and then we miss out on our life. So that's why the body is so helpful, because it's there with you all the time, and it has this deep wisdom. And learning body mindfulness and learning to pull yourself out of your head, to pull yourself back into your body, back into your life, is so essential and very simple. So let's just start with a simple tuning practice now, so you can start to think about where you are in your life, how you're feeling with what I've just talked about. So if you're in a position to close your eyes, then please do so. Please don't do this driving, it's not appropriate. You need your external awareness really strong, obviously, when you're driving. But otherwise, I'm just going to invite you to close your eyes if it's safe to do so. If you're walking along then obviously keep your eyes open, but then just allow all of your attention to drop into your feet. Feel your feet on the ground. Get curious about the physical sensations of your feet and how the ground feels to them. Place your awareness in your left foot and then your right foot, and then both feet together. Feel your feet on the ground, connected to the earth. Allow your belly to soften if it wants to, and if it doesn't, that's okay. Don't try to do anything. Just notice, soft belly or not, and notice how you feel. And then take your awareness to the space between your shoulders and your ears, and notice this space. Notice if your shoulders want to drop away from your ears for a moment or not. Just notice how you feel. Not trying to change anything or achieve anything. Just become aware of your body, sensations, patterns of held tension, anywhere that feels soft and released. Just notice. And then bringing to mind social media accounts. Just notice. So if we bring up Facebook, notice any reaction in your body, physical sensations related to your Facebook account and usage. And don't judge anything here, your mind's going to get involved, but just let go of the attention on the mind, drop into the body. Get curious about any physical sensations to do with your Facebook usage. Instagram. Notice if it's the same or different physical sensations if you use Instagram. And then any other social media usage you want to bring to mind, do so now. And drop into the body and notice your reactions, physical sensations to any other accounts. And then just bringing your awareness to your whole body and any physical sensations to do with social media usage. Just get curious. You're just exploring, taking notice. What information is in your body that can help you? And then releasing that, opening your eyes, noticing whatever came up for you. And then I'm guessing you're here because you want to gain more control over your social media usage. So in the last episode we thought about what we think about it, and I was going with the idea that it's neither good nor bad, it's a neutral space and you can choose to make it whatever you want, and that it would be good if we all went in with more intention and spread kindness, integrity, if we were behaved with authenticity. And we all crave genuine connection, I think, so actually genuinely connecting with people by not just scrolling mindlessly, but going in and connecting with people with encouraging and sending love, and just being more authentic online, actually connecting, particularly in this time of COVID. So, and hopefully after COVID, I don't know, everybody going back to disconnecting after COVID, but you know what I mean. This is an opportunity. We crave connection. Let's use social media for good. So that's one thing, isn't it? That just noticing the intention behind your usage. But I think one of the biggest problems is how often we use it. So my ideal situation is to control my usage, and I've worked hard on this, and I used all sorts of things. So I had Facebook Purity on installed on Google as an extension, and that worked well for me because it stops the scroll with a lovely inspirational quote. So I think it's just called Facebook Purity. It's a free Google extension, and I liked that. But actually then I realized that it was annoying because for work I need to scroll and interact, and if I just go in and post, then I'm actually not connecting with people, and that's just ridiculous because connection is important, as I've just stated. So I've actually removed Facebook Purity now, which is interesting because what's really good, having had it on there since January, so that's nearly 8 months of Facebook Purity, is although I could scroll on my phone and my iPad, I couldn't scroll on my laptop unless I changed browsers, which I didn't. And what's been really, really interesting is even now I've removed it, I'm not scrolling on my laptop. And when I'm scrolling on my phone and my iPad, it's easier to break the scroll when it becomes mindless. So that's really interesting. So you might want to research the idea of using something that blocks the scroll just to give you more control, because you want to do everything in your power. If you genuinely want to stop the mindless waste of energy and time and exhaustion and disconnect, if you want to use social media as a force for good in your life, to give and receive in a really integral place, spreading love and kindness, which is what I hope, because how amazing would it be if we all did that, then yeah, breaking the addiction, getting control of your attention is really important. So do everything in your power to make it as easy as possible. So I suggest, I really was grateful to Facebook Purity for stopping that scroll for a few months. That was really helpful for me, and I would reinstall it if I felt the need. So you could consider that, or any other tool there is. I'm sure there's lots, but I haven't Googled them purposely because I get stuck down Google rabbit holes and things change anyway. You know, you have to find what's right for you. So there is software you can use to help you and to support you. Other things you can do are, if notice what it is that's the reaction. So software engineers have made it so that we get addicted, and that's to do with this dopamine release of pressing buttons. So noticing when you're about to press the button, noticing what's going on. Is it at certain times? So for example, is it every time you see your phone? If it is, could you hide your phone? So I do this quite a lot. I place the phone in the drawer next to where the phone sits, and I find that really helpful. I turn the phone upside down. I don't have my phone on, which I know is annoying. So if somebody phones me, my phone doesn't ring. The only time my phone is switched on to noise is if I'm out with my partner and he might want to phone me. You know, if you're shopping, but as joint shopping has gone out the window, my phone's really not on. So yes, I could miss phone calls, but you know, I can phone people back, and there's other ways of reaching me. There's lots of ways of reaching me, and I don't find talking on the phone and having my phone ready to interrupt me very helpful, because when I work, I'm doing really deep work. I like to get really in the zone, or I'm recording videos or a podcast. So, you know, I kind of just quite happy with my phone being on silent. I also don't have notifications on it. I found that really helpful. And then another thing I discovered is in the settings, I managed to change it so that I have notifications, but not the little symbols. Do you know what I mean? Not the little picture next to the app on Messenger or WhatsApp or whatever. But I was having, so the notification could come up in the lock screen, and then I discovered that you can change it so you can't read the message. So it will tell you you've got a message and who it's from, but it doesn't tell you what it is. And for some reason that really helped. I don't know why. I guess it's because if it reads the message or part of the message, it gets my brain going into, oh, I need to deal with that. Whereas if it just says notification from my son, then I know it's there, and if it's from one of my kids, I'm pretty much click on that straight away, because they're so important to me. But in general, a lot of stuff you get, you don't really need to click on it straight away. And I've been practicing delaying the click. So there's something really powerful there. So if you think about it like this, software engineers have designed it so you're addicted to your phone. You want to break that addiction because you want control of your life back. The best way to do that is to pause before the click. So even if you then, because it's really hard if you do the opposite. So the opposite is to go, right, I'm not going to touch my phone for an hour. It's really hard. It's possible, but you probably have to distract yourself with something. Put the phone away, switch it off, go and do something else. That works as well. But you're still at some point going to be in that position where you're about your fingers going towards the button. At that point, catch it, pause. And at that moment, do this. So you see your phone, you recognise that you're about to press, I'll just quickly check. And you know that's rubbish. You know you could lose hours of your life. So instead of just quickly checking, pause. The longer the pause, the better. And this is a really good thing to do. Your fingers going towards the phone. You catch yourself. You pause. You drop all of your attention into your feet. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice how you feel. Allow your belly to soften and your shoulders to come away from your ears if they want to, or not. And notice how you feel. Notice that pull towards the phone. Notice it as a physical sensation. Notice the irritation in your mind because you just stopped it having that dopamine fix. Just notice any irritation or any relief. But don't expect anything. Don't expect to feel better or worse. It's just a neutral noticing practice. And that's it. So that's a few seconds. So let's do that again. You see your phone. Your habit is to press the button and check. You pause. You feel your feet on the ground. You allow your belly to soften and your shoulders to come away from your ears. So this is just any softening that wants to happen. And you notice how you feel. You notice the irritation, the relief or whatever of pausing. And then if you still want to check your phone, you can, but you are aware that you are checking your phone. So you are moving from checking your phone with complete addiction to I know that I'm checking my phone. Now this might not sound like much, but it's the difference between mindlessly being pulled in without your control and choosing to check your phone even if you still don't really want to. So you're not breaking the habit in one go. You're just becoming aware that you are checking. It didn't happen by accident. You're pausing, you're starting to break that habit. This is a tipping point because that's when it's happening. It's like chocolate and wine and all of the other addictions. Notice that you're doing it. Become aware. Accept that weakness. Notice it. Don't notice it. It's the difference between noticing after you've scrolled for an hour. Oh no, I picked my phone up again. I've just lost an hour. I really wanted to go and do that thing and I haven't done it and I feel yucky because that was a useless half an hour. That was a waste. I don't like how that feels. Noticing all of that, all of the junky feeling. It's like when you eat junk food, isn't it? And you feel crap afterwards. If you're going to eat junk food, notice it. You know, it's definitely time for ice cream. It's incredibly hot this week in the UK. So I know that eating ice cream, if I eat too much of it, it's too much sugar, I'm not going to feel great. So I can choose how I do that. I can choose to eat the ice cream and eat less of it. So I just get the nice feeling, the coolness and the joy that it's August and I'm eating ice cream. Or I can eat too much of it and feel terrible. But it's the knowing, it's the mindfulness, it's the being in my body, noticing how these things make me feel. As soon as you notice what's going on for you, you have more power and control. And you can then start to gain more control, so that after a while, because you're realizing how often you are going to reach for that phone, the fingers going towards the phone, hands going towards the phone. Oh, I'm noticing. Once you get more awareness of this, you can then take it a step further. So you've practiced the pausing, this long pause, getting into your body and pausing before using it. And now you're really starting to you could do this for a week, and then you'll really start to notice, oh my God, I'm always reaching for my phone. I'm not really present. For example, how often do you reach for your phone when you're talking to somebody else? Because that's such a shame. Listen to that person, get curious about that person. So if you can move your attention from your phone to the thing that you're doing and notice how often your phone is stealing you, like you can feel it as this magnetic force, can't you? And also notice when it's happening. So is it happening in the moments in between? So I notice, for example, if we're eating dinner, watching whatever thing we're enjoying on Amazon Prime, and then my partner goes to take the plates to the kitchen or goes to get something from the kitchen, I notice that pause is when I tend to pick up my iPad. But he's only gone for 3 minutes. Now, sometimes it's because I've been waiting to look something up because there's something that's really interested and got me curious. And that's kind of okay. But I've noticed that it's like this discomfort in those empty spaces. Can you relate to that? You're waiting for a bus, or you're waiting for something. You have this, it's the pauses in between that we tend to fill with mindless phone checking. Noticing that can be really helpful. Then just tune into your body. So instead of reaching for the phone in every little pause and moment in between, instead of doing that, just tune into the body, feet, belly, heart, shoulders, jaw. Notice how you feel. Get back into your body. Allow softening, because that's nourishing. First of all, you're connected. Secondly, you may have been sat in a really awkward position for a while, and actually you're starting to get neck ache. And then in a week's time, you'll wonder why you really need to go to the chiropractor. And it's because we get stuck and disconnected. So using those moments in between, those kind of weird, restless spaces of, when it's just not, we were watching television, we were talking to somebody, we were traveling, we were working, we were doing. And then suddenly there's this pause and we need to fill it. Instead of filling it with your phone, fill it with a tune into your body. Feel your feet on the ground. Allow your attention to move out of your mind, out of the busyness of the mind, out of the overloaded mind, out of external distractions, away from your phone. Pull your attention back. Steal it back from your phone. Pull it into your body. And notice how you feel. Just notice. A couple of other things you could do is, once you start to notice how often you're getting that strong pull towards the phone, and because the more you get awareness of that, the more you're probably going to get a bit cross and like, right, tell me more. I want more stuff to block it. So there's other things you can do. You can hide it. You can switch it off. You can certainly not have it anywhere near you at night, because that'd be really good for lots of reasons. Like, the light coming out of it is blue light unless you've got it on the nighttime setting. It's easy to end up checking your phone when you need to be sleeping. There's if you use it as an alarm, then put it on airplane or however your settings work. There are all sorts of things you can do to really minimize its distraction during what should be your wonderful, wonderful switching off period of night. Personally, I leave my phone switched off downstairs because I need to take big control over my phone. But obviously it's up to you. Some people use it for listening to a relaxation before they go to sleep, or use it as your alarm. And you have to think about that. Nighttime is a big thing, and I know people who wake up in the night and automatically check their phone, but then sometimes they do one of my relaxations and that helps them. So you've got to think about what's best for you, and whether physically removing the phone at your weakest time is best for you, or whether the harder thing, learning to control. And you need to do both, but make it as easy as possible, because each little win you get, each little gain, gives you power. And then you get more rebellious. You're like, yeah, this phone is a tool for me to use. Social media is for me to use to make my life better. It is not the boss of me. Get rebellious. So another thing you can do is limit your time. So this is kind of later down the line. It might not be for you. You might want to do this today. It's your journey. It's your relationship with social media. So another good thing you could try is limit your time. So set a timer. I'm going to spend 10 minutes mindlessly scrolling. You don't even have to do it with intention. You could just do the mindless scroll for 10 minutes, because that's what I feel like doing, but then stop. So there's that, setting a timer. And then notice how that feels. So did that feel good? Might do. Might have been fun. It is what it is, but notice it. Keep noticing, keep tuning into the body. Notice what's going on for you with your phone and social media. So noticing the physical sensations, the body's reaction to social media is really helpful, because it gets you out of your head and it gives you more control. It reminds you are in a body on the earth. You are not in this weird online space. And then, really important, the kind of ultimate thing to me is not only controlling it, as in I choose when to check, but also the icing on the cake is choosing when to check, and choosing to check with intention. So I am going to check to see how my cousins are, and I'm going to respond to them with genuine connection. Or I'm going to go into social media to connect with other people, network with other online entrepreneurs, or to put helpful comments on other people's posts so that they get the encouragement and help and love they need today. Or I'm going into social media to find something that helps me in this area of my life. So intention. Why are you checking? Don't just check. Go do some good stuff. With great power comes great responsibility. You have power and control over your social media usage, and you can use it as a force for good. You can make your life better, and you can make the world better. Be something, be a beacon of light, of truth, of authenticity, of encouragement, of sprinkle kindness everywhere. Have intention when you click. Tune in before. So tune into the body. Notice how you're feeling. And if you're feeling kind of cross and don't go take it out on social media. Don't spread over the world. Deal with that in a more appropriate way. Be kind. Use your power for good. So check in. If you're feeling sad and you need to connect, go and connect with a friend. Go and ask for help. There's ways to behave that make it a better space for all of us. There are ways for you to use social media to make your life fuller. So I'll leave you with that. I hope that was helpful. Good luck. Let me know how you get on. I'd be really interested to know.